Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to talk a little bit about some misconceptions that there are in pitching and how to teach pitching or how to learn pitching. There's obviously many different philosophies out there on how to deliver the baseball on the pitcher's mound, but I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the mechanics of it and some things that I think are just flat out wrong. So today we're going to talk about the 11 major misconceptions of pitching. Number one is that you can throw faster from the windup than you can from the stretch. Now this is untrue. You should be able to throw the same speed from both the windup and the stretch. I think guys who feel like they throw faster from the windup feel that way because they're loading their hips and they have more momentum going towards home. If this is the case, then you really need to focus on working from the stretch because that's the most important. You never have to pitch from the windup, but you have to pitch from the stretch when there's a runner on. So if you're that guy who feels better from the windup than the stretch, you need to work more on the stretch and work on loading those hips more and be able to generate just as much energy as you do from the windup. Number two is that you need to come to a balance point. So lifting that leg straight up, pausing up top, and then pitching. Again, this goes back to loading your hips. Instead of a balance point, I think what a lot of great pitchers do is when they start lifting that leg, they also break their hips. So they kind of load their weight over their backside, which gives them more energy to go towards that plate. So here's a balance point versus a good load. Number three is that you should point your front arm towards your target when you're pitching. This is not true as well. You'll see a lot of the great pitchers in the game, when they break their hands, they're at least 45 degrees closed off or more. I made a video about this in more detail, so I'll leave that link right here. But when you're going straight to your target like this, you lose all of that torque. You have no torque. Everything's here. And what I see a lot of young guys doing is when they go straight to the target, when they try to get this arm coming through, everything flies open. So better off teaching them to start 45 degrees or more off like they're going to need to as they get older. And for you older guys, you need to be there already. But get them in the habit of that so now they're closed off and they can open up and get to their target. Number four, you shouldn't lean back when pitching. This is untrue. You'll see when guys come down that mountain, if they have a good load when they're pitching, when they get out to landing, they're going to have an angle on their shoulders, okay? And they're going to be leaning back. It's from this point that you want to transfer that weight going forward so that you can get over your front leg. But if you're leaning forward or trying to stay balanced, everything's going to be out in front and you're going to be leaving your arm behind. So you definitely should have a lean back when you're pitching. Now you don't want it to be too much of a lean because then you're defeating the purpose there too. So if you're like this, obviously way too much, okay? But if you load your hips correctly and you come down that mound, you're definitely going to have an angle on your shoulders. Number five, you should push really hard early off of the rubber when you're pitching. Now, you do get your energy from your legs, okay? But I believe that you need to set your angle first, ride it, and then push through it. Your leg drive happens later in the mechanics than it does earlier. Think about a car. If you got into a car and you just slammed on the gas right away, what are you going to do? You're going to spin out. Same thing with pitching. If you get up here and you really just drive off of this mound early, you're going to be leaving everything behind, okay? So what you want to do, and it all goes back to the load again, is set your hips, load it up, ride it, and then drive through, okay? The drive happens after you have ridden the angle that you've created in your back leg about halfway or 3/4 of the way down that mound. Number six, you need to tuck your glove in when you're pitching. This is false as well. You'll see a lot of the best pitchers, when they're pitching, after they turn that glove over, coming in, it kind of chicken wings a little bit, but when they get here, that glove stays out. Elbow comes in, glove stays out. And now the best pitchers, when they get that extension, will try to bring their chest to the glove to finish it, versus pulling that thing in. So here, I'll show you the two differences. Here's me pulling this in. A little bit too rotational, falling off this way, probably gonna be yanking a lot of balls down there, versus what I call blocking off. Bringing the elbow in and then taking the chest to the glove. Now, the reason why you want to block off is because that is what's going to stop your rotational energy. If you don't block off, you can keep rotating. If I pull this in, I can keep rotating, and I have nothing to get me back in a straight line. But if I block off, I'm rotating, block, now all my energy comes back in a straight line when I finish. Number 7, you should reach out as far as you can, straight out in front for your release point. This is another one I hear all the time, which is false, okay? I did a video called the perfect release point or something like that. I'll leave a link for that one as well right here. So watch that one. But where the perfect release point is gonna be if you have a line straight up from your heel, up your butt, up your back, through your arm, right here. Glove's gonna be out, chest's gonna be going down towards it, and that's gonna be your perfect release point. You're gonna have a little bit of a bend in your knee, so that's not gonna be on your line, but the line is gonna go straight up the heel, butt, back, and arm. If you're too far back, you're releasing it too far back. If you're trying to really get out straight this way, you're too far forward. So the best way to see that is set a camera up, just like where this camera is, on my open side, throw some pitches, and then see where that release point is. Get it on slow motion or something, and see where your release point is. Number 8, you should bend your front leg when you land to get a better release point. This is also wrong. And this is one of the hardest things to teach or coach in the pitching mechanics, okay? I believe that a lot of the harder throwers get to a closer, straight leg at release point. And if you watch that release point video that I left the link for in the last clip, I'll leave it again here, you'll see that as well. The guys who have the best release points are firm on their front leg at release point. If they're not straight, fully straight, they're very close to it, maybe a slight bend, but they're very strong and they're pitching against that front leg. So you don't want to collapse and let your weight go through and kind of walk through your release point. You want to pitch against that front leg and almost use it as like a pole vault to get over. Use it as leverage. Just as you're blocking off with your glove is your block or your leverage for the rotation of the pitch, to stop the rotation of the pitch, the leg is the blocking or the leverage of the linear energy of the pitch. So you have to pitch against that front leg to get the leverage and energy out through the baseball. Number 9, you throw faster the longer you stride. This is another big misconception, I think, in pitching, and it's kind of true and kind of not. And the way I want to explain this is that it's not directly related to how fast you throw. Meaning, if you're a guy and you're pitching and you stride 5.5 feet out, let's say, for instance, if you go further than that, that doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be throwing faster, okay, automatically. Now, I think more importantly than the longer stride is going to be how you put everything together, okay? I've seen guys with very short strides that throw close to 100 miles an hour, some over 100 miles an hour with very, very short strides, okay? And when they get longer, they can't throw as hard because something in their kinetic chain is not working together. Their timing is off for something, okay? Now, with that being said, I think hip to shoulder separation is going to be more important than how far your stride is. And what hip to shoulder separation is how good of a stretch you can get or separation you can get from your hips when they're coming forward to your shoulder in the back. How much stretch, how much of that rubber band, how much of that torque can you get in your delivery? So I think that's going to play more of a direct response to velocity than is stride length. And you have to find a comfortable stride length to where you can put everything together from your back foot all the way through the connected chain of your body into your hip to shoulder separation and out through that arm. And for some guys it's different. Some guys feel comfortable on a shorter stride and can put that all together. Some can throw a little bit faster with a longer stride. Now, like in the beginning I said, it's kind of true what you said, because if that same guy who takes a shorter stride can put everything together in a little bit longer of a stride, he's probably going to throw a little bit faster. But it doesn't always work that way. Number 10, you should finish in a good fielding position. How many guys do you hear saying that? How many coaches do you hear saying that? Especially for the younger players, when you finish, get here, finish right here. That is impossible if you're generating enough energy going through your mechanics, okay? So, you are at the best, you're gonna be a little bit staggered when you hit that front leg, okay? At the best. You see guys in the big leagues falling all over the place, going this way, going that way. Now, I don't recommend teaching a young player that, but at the same time, you can't just have them going through the motions and coming right here, because then they're never learning how to generate energy, okay? So, that's a big misconception, and I really think it's good for guys to really let it go a few times and see how it feels to get over that front leg in a natural fashion. And number 11, pitchers aren't athletes. I hate when people say that, because we are athletes, all right? If you think about it, when you're younger, the guys who could throw very well were usually the best athletes, and they ended up being pitchers. So don't let anyone tell you if you're a pitcher that you're not an athlete, because you are, okay? And if you take something that someone says, or you buy into it and you believe it, then you are, okay? If someone tells you that and you think you're not an athlete, you're not gonna be an athlete. But if you say, you know what? I am an athlete, and you buy into it and you commit to it, you can be as athletic or more athletic than the rest of the guys on the team, off of the pitcher's mound. Shoot, you need to be to field your position out front. So pitchers are athletes, and you need to tell yourself that. Remember, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and then join the free newsletter at yougoprobaseball.com.